Alright, so our background has been weighed down for a few days now. It's fully cured. And it looks pretty good as is, but I would like to add some reinforcement with silicone around the edges of some of these items. And then I'm going to camouflage it. So this is the same black aquarium silicone that I used before to glue the background on. And then this is something that any herp makes. It's called background texture. It's basically like Eco Earth, but there's some rougher cut coconut husk in here that makes it a little more interesting. So I like that a lot. So I'm going to start on the lower items. And on the smaller planter, I'm not going to completely seal it. I'll leave a small gap for drainage. But this one I'll add as much as possible around the bottom. Also, you'll notice here I had this big gap on the edge of this branch, and I actually just took a bit of foam and kind of roughly cut it to fill in, and I'm going to just cover it all in silicone, make it a little nicer looking. That's just a piece of the old Exoterra background here. I collect them. So all you really need to do here is get a pretty thin bead, not enough to really get thick, but just enough so you can stick to it. And then you're just going to press whatever you're using into it. And just pile that on nice and thick. And like I said, I'm going to leave a space here so water can escape. And you don't want it to start to dry out, so just do small sections. Press mix into it, and then move on. Alrighty, so I reinforced everywhere I really wanted to here. And this will have to sit again a few days to fully cure. I didn't add anything on the mushroom ledge because I like it the way it is looking and feels pretty sturdy, so I don't think it needs reinforcement. So once this is dry, I'll check for any mist spots and touch up if needed. And if you can see this, let me see right here, I nick the side with some silicone. But if you do this, just leave it until it cures. It's much easier to scrape off, and if you try to wipe it, you're just going to smear it all over the place. So I will clean that up when this is all dry. So I'll just take this opportunity to show you the silicone that I used to put on the background itself. I didn't coat the whole back, it's just a thin bead. And I did the square and X pattern and then added another square just to add some extra reinforcement because the background's pretty heavy. But it's very secure now. I can't move this at all. Alright, it's about a day later and I vacuumed up all the excess background material. And then I'm just checking to see if there's any bare spots, which I did not find any. So at this point our background's going to sit maybe for another day or two, just to get everything fully cured. The silicone kind of smells like vinegar, so if it still smells very strong, it's still curing. But if you look here, we have these nice kind of foresty, dirty joints. And everything now, I'm not going to jerk it too hard, but it's a lot less wiggly because the silicone is giving it that extra little bit of adhesion. You know, the screws are good, but they still have a little give to them. And you can see now this isn't giving at all. The only thing I didn't reinforce was this, and this is very sturdy. But this is it pretty much. I mean, the biggest part of this is the background, and once you get all that done, you're ready. So I have my substrate and some plants on order, and when those come in, I'll be back with the final setup.